Hello, and welcome back to Litun, where this time we will rank 10 more train games. These games were all suggested by everyone watching. If you want another video like this, make sure to leave a comment down below on what games you would like to see. Shall we get going? This is Wolf Gaming. Let's head to the wheel to see what we will play first. And it's Trains Island. Let's take a look. First of all, the amount of trains is okay, but like all of the other games made by this developer, one train is free with everything else being Robux. The physics of these trains aren't the best, but it is bearable. The detail on them is decent and feels like a well-designed train. The map size for this game is pretty large as well. Finally, the surroundings around the tracks goes on for quite a way, but has a downside of everything being a colored block. If we head to our tier list, Trains Island will find itself in D tier. We are back to the wheel for the next game. Oh wow! Now it's going to be Trains Express. Let's take a look. Once again, there are quite a few trains in this game, all from different countries such as Japan, Sweden, France, China, Italy, Spain, Germany, and the UK. This gives a lot of variety. However, once again, you only get one for free with the rest available for Robux. The detail on the trains is pretty good, as well as having some okay customization to change the color to whatever you want. The physics is pretty much the same as Trains Island, but it does feel like you are driving an express train. The map size is just a loop with a track through the middle, but the distances do take a while to cover. The surroundings are pretty good, but once again, the buildings are just colored blocks. This game is going to be heading over to C tier. Let's find out the next game by spinning the wheel. And it's Project Transit. First of all, the map size is decently large, and there are many routes to drive along. There is an absolutely huge variety of trains and the detail is okay. However, some of the proportions on the Class 377 are slightly off. Why does it look so tall? There are a few other trains like this, but most are actually much better than this. The physics for the train is okay, but the acceleration and braking just feels slightly too fast for what it should be. The surroundings are pretty good with much higher detail than the past two games, but some things don't make sense. Why on earth would a random house be about 500 miles away from the road? Anyway, due to the physics and the train detail, this game ends up in B tier, which is still great. Let's head back to the wheel. And it is Trains Canyon. First of all, like the others, only one train is free with the rest being paid, but there are quite a lot. The detail on them is pretty good as well. The map size is great, and isn't a circle like Trains Express. We actually have a cool map. The physics of the train is just like the other games in the train series, and feels nice. The scenery around one of the stations is mostly blocks, but the skyscrapers are decent. This game is going to head over to C tier along with Trains Express. The wheel is here again. And it has spun Italian railways. Let's have a look. Unfortunately, we will not be able to rank this game because everything is in Italian. That is an issue first of all, but secondly, you need to pay Robux to get the role to drive. Currently, all I can do is be a passenger, but I guess we can say that the scenery is just trees. As we can't rank this game, I will do another one that was suggested by one of the public. It is Opel Island Railway. First of all, the amount of trains is okay, but the detail is really good. The map size for the game is pretty good with multiple lines. The scenery around the railway is okay, with a lot of detail, but it doesn't go on that far. The physics for the trains is decently good. Opel Island Railway is going to be making its way to A tier. Wait a minute. Have you followed the Wolf Gaming WhatsApp group? If not, grab your phone and scan this QR code to join right now. It is completely free, and you will get all the info about the upcoming videos. Now back to the video. We are back at the wheel. Let's see what game we have now. It's Train Sim by Nexa. Let's dive in. First of all, the amount of trains is incredible. There are lots of diesel units, as well as coaches, and even down to multiple units. This includes express trains like TGVs and Eurostars. This also ties in really well with how detailed these trains are. And then that ties in with how realistic the physics inside of this game are. There are so many maps over many different countries. This also includes routes like Street Pancras to Paris. As you can see, this is the surroundings of St. Pancras, and it is very detailed, but doesn't go on for too far, but there is a lot of fog in the distance. So Train Sim is making its way to S tier. Let's head over to the wheel. It is going to be Trainways. This game is another Australian train game just like Opel Island Railway, so let's see how it compares. First of all, there are a lot more trains, including suburban and intercity. Unfortunately, it was dark because of time zones, but you can see that the detail is ever so slightly worse than Opel Island. The surroundings are pretty good, but of course we can't get a full view of the details. The physics are amazing, and we even have suspension when going around the corners. The map is pretty large with places like airports. This game is going to end up in B tier, as Opel Island beats it in the train detail aspect. The wheel is here again to select the next game. And it seems to be DJMN lines. This game is all about the tube in London and currently has the Jubilee line. There are 12 trains in the game, but some are restricted to admin only. This is the recent mesh for the 1996 stock and it looks great. The surroundings around the stations are okay, but goes on for a good distance. One of the main key points for this game is ATO. This drives the train automatically, and works amazingly. Let's have a look at it in action. Whilst that is happening, one thing to say is that at some places it does break slightly, but otherwise it is great. Of course, the map is the Jubilee line, which is pretty long. And there we go. We have made it to a stop without doing anything manually. How amazing! This game is going to head over to A tier. Let's spin the wheel for our next game. And it is Streamlined. This game is based around the Netherlands and is all about steam engines. First of all, there is an incredible amount of trains with 32 steam engines, 9 diesel locos, and 6 DMUs. The detail on the steam engines is magnificent. The physics as well are great and feel much like a steam train. The map is also pretty large, with many routes. The surroundings go on for so long, and are really detailed. Streamlined is going to find itself in B tier. The final game is going to be... wow! Terminal Railways. Who would have guessed? First of all, the amount of trains is ridiculous. The amount of countries that are in this game is crazy. The detail on the trains is okay, but unfortunately there is no interior. The physics aren't the greatest either, and the trains speed up and slow down way too quickly. There are 17 stations on the map, which is pretty good. The surroundings of the stations are pretty good, but it is only blocks. This game is going to make its way over to C tier. Well, there we go. Here is our newly updated tier list for the 10 new games that we have added. Make sure to comment below any games you would like to be ranked onto the Wolf Gaming tier list. Make sure to leave a like so you can see more videos like this. Goodbye. And until next time, goodbye.
It's delicious.